welcome. I'm Steve,
I'm Diane.
and we are Steve and Diane on Alzheimer's.
A caregiving journey.
A caregiver's journey. Why are we even presenting this to you today? It's because our mom has Alzheimer's, and it's not been a fun journey, and we've struggled, and it took us a long time to figure out how to even get sort of a semblance of normality around this whole caregiving to her.
And to our dad.
And to our dad. Who,
Also, the
yeah.
caregiving journey is not just for mom, but also for our dad who does not have Alzheimer's, but is struggling with the journey as well.
You might as well. Alzheimer's is a disease that you don't have all the symptoms, but your whole family members and all your friends also have a version of Alzheimer's. Whether you're forgetting things, that's the symptom of the patient, but the struggle with dealing with them and the loss of being patient with your family member or the person you know that has Alzheimer's is just a huge struggle, and just all that normalcy is gone. It's very heart-wrenching and very sad disease that affects not only the patient but the caregivers as well. And Diane and I have struggled and went through this so much that we thought we'd bring you sort of a legacy to our mom and discuss what we did to get to where we are today. And I think we have a little bit of normalcy going, but every day can be new and different. But we do interact with her in a little different ways. What do you think?
I think that's true.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope that we can offer of value to our audience?
Our story. So that people can feel less alone in this journey. Because I know at first I was Googling and searching and trying to find anything I could on, hey, what's going on with my mom, and how do we take best care of her and help her feel comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have Alzheimer's who don't have Alzheimer's.
I was drawing the relation of everybody suffers from it.
Everyone suffers from it, but I don't think it's like you have Alzheimer's. I don't think anything.
It seems like a family has
Yes.
Alzheimer's.
Yes, yes.
And that's where I was going with that.
That's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it affects every person, and every family is struggling.
Yeah.
Every family member is struggling with this disease, with the person with dementia.
Right.
Rather than,
Yeah.
he might as well have Alzheimer's. That just sounds cavalier.
Did I say it awkward? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the patient thing. It's awkward way of thinking of the person, because we want to focus on the fact that this is a person. This is our mom.
Yeah.
And she's still our mom, whether she recognizes us or not. You know, we recognize her. We know who she is. She's
Mm-hmm.
still our mom, no matter what.
Right.
And we want to focus on that. And in the caregiving, we need to focus on she's our mom. You know, she's a person. She happens to have Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a definition of her. And she's not a patient, because that kind of feels like a definition. It feels like that's who she is. She's not. She's a person.
Right.
And she's not in a hospital setting or. Go ahead. No, we're gonna say you were
that's
smiling.
great. I'm smiling because I think of it as she's a person with a diagnosis and she is in a facility, so therefore she is a patient to some
Right. And
degree.
I think of her. She's a resident.
But yeah, no, and that's great. So she should be. I mean, our mom is our mom. She's not a patient. She's not someone who is just written off as, oh, that person has dementia and Alzheimer's. We want to think about her as the person that she is, who loved us and we loved her and cared for her
Right.
and move in that direction. So
And who loves babies and dogs and
yeah.
you know, church songs,
Mhm.
you know, hymns.
Yep.
And Elvis, and
Yeah.
all of, you know, eating almost anything, right?
Yeah.
Right. Any kind of homemade food.
Right.
You know, she is all of these things,
Mhm.
and still is. You know.
Yeah.
It's just the difficulty in communicating with her and understanding what she's trying to communicate with us is so hard. I miss talking to her.
Yep.
And I miss that so much.
Yeah, no, that's a huge challenge. Our mom is at the point where she does not speak coherently. She can speak, and she speaks a little bit in gibberish and redundancy, but there's no real sentence structure that we can make out. So we struggle a lot to understand. It really looks like and appears she is trying to tell us things many times, but we can't make that out.
Right.
So it's a real challenge and to get there. And sometimes she gets frustrated with us because we're not responding the way she expects us to, and then sometimes she just sings. So
she does. And those are the good days when
yeah.
she sings. There's so much joy in that singing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I look forward to that every time I see her.
When she sees you, she almost always breaks out into song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best.
Mm-hmm. That's how I know she recognizes me, I think.
Right.
Somewhere in there, whether she knows I'm Steve, her son, or just someone who's coming in to see her with just love in his heart, and that's all I can offer and give, and there's no expectations from me to give to her, and except maybe just singing and laughing and having a very jovial time with her, and
Love.
and just it
Just
just
share
comes
the love.
down to that, to love. So I think she appreciates that, and I know when I walk out of there, my cheeks are hurting most of the times because she and I laugh very hard together, and that's very rewarding these days. Since I can't have a conversation with her either,
Right.
but it'd be great just to know how she was feeling, how she potentially would have been thinking, and
Or just to ask her advice on something, or tell her some cool thing the kids did, or,
yeah,
or the dog, she adores one of my dogs.
just one.
Just one.
Yep.
She's always thought the other one was too big.
Oh,
So these are the kind of things that we're hoping to share and make some kind of meaningful podcast that, helps someone get through this journey and not feel so alone. I think one of the first topics that we'll discuss is how we got here.
yeah.
Some of the things leading up to us realizing that our mom had some kind of dementia. And I think those are the kind of, then we have a list of some other topics that we'd like to talk about. And I think that's going to be a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you'll come on this journey with us.
Yeah. So our story is much like your story. We don't have medical degrees, but we have some experience, unfortunately, along the way. But and we've had some success. Things have been challenging. They look super gloom, but we've gone through that and struggled and suffered, and we've reevaluated and have a lot of success in some areas. But we'd like to share our journey with you, and like Diane said, one of the biggest things is that you're not alone. Unfortunately, just to the sense that dementia is such a prevalence in the world today, and we felt alone for a long time, and we don't want you to have to suffer and feel that way as well. So if we can invite you on our journey, please feel free to comment and tell us what you want to talk about, and we can certainly try to address that if we've got that experience. Maybe even down the road we could invite some guests who can speak to a lot of scenarios and situations that you might need help with as well. But
Or maybe you'll have some comments that are things we hadn't thought about, or things that can help us on our journey and some of the things we struggle with. So hopefully this can be a two-sided situation of help.
yeah, let's invite you into a conversation about dementia. All right,
And caregiving, mostly caregiving.
mostly caregiving. Okay, let's invite you into
Let's invite them
let's
into,
invite you into a communication
let's invite you
about
into
caregiving
sharing, let's invite you into. So let's invite you on this journey
Yeah.
that we're all already on,
Mhm.
and let's see where it takes us.
All right, go with that.
I like that.
All right,
All right,
we'll see you next time
thank you.
on Steve and Diane on Alzheimer's. Cheers.
A caregiving journey.
Mhm.
Cheers.